At the start of the movie, we see a scientist. He was transferring a mysterious creature into his body. Afterward, his eyes are turned into blue color and he is transformed into a werewolf, and the scene drops here with this. Then the major character named Lang John of the movie is shown, who was delivering the goods by his car. Then Lang John listens the news that some people were disappearing in the city mysteriously. Meanwhile, Lang John receives the call of his uncle Yong and he wishes his birthday. Then he witnesses as an upside down car on his way. He attempts to rescue the man of that car. When he moves to that car, then that creature seen at the start of the movie, it transfers into the body of Lang John, coming out of the body of that boy. Consequently, he is also transferred into a werewolf. Then a secret military approaches there. It was looking as they have come to capture him with full preparation, but it was not enough. As Lang John transfers into werewolf, then he kills all there with no difficulty. But a female fighter fires at him with green laser. Then he immediately runs away. But that force's leader was not happy at all by this, because he was in the search of that person who might adjust with that creature perfectly. So he had not found a man as such till yet. On the other side, Lang Jung eats like an animal strangely as he approaches at home, and he also behaves like the animals. In the end, he also vomits because of overeating. He glimpses the reflection of werewolf as he looks himself into the mirror. Consequently, he is also afraid and he loses his consciousness in his bathtub. Then he observes some changing in himself as he wakes up. As his listening skill had very increased at the same time, he listened a news which was broadcasting that the scratches seen before 12 years. They have found the same scratches last night. Knowing this, Lang gets very upset. When Lang goes to his job in the morning, then his boss shows his anger on him because he had left his stuffed goods car on the road last night. Later, Lang bosses tries to hit him with can in rage. Then he hits back it. As a result, that can strikes on the wall and it is hit on the wall so forcefully that causes the crack on the wall. His bosses is very scared witnessing this as Lang leaves that place without uttering a word there. Meanwhile, it is seen that man had kept an eye on Lang, and Lang also skewer a little girl on the road with this from facing an accident. And he also reminds his childhood when with this where two kids were teasing him, but Lang is unable to take any action because of his feebleness. At the same time, his friend saves him coming there. In the meantime, he brings into his memory that there is his friend's boxing match today. So he instantly moves to view the match of his friends where it is witnessed that his friend wins the match from her rival. In spite of this, her rival pushes her down. At the same time, Lang catches her moving ahead. Meanwhile, Lang boss's son come there. He challenges Lang for the boxing match and he accepts this. Lang loses his sense with one punch as their fight is held. Force's leader is seen at the same time who had still kept an eye on Lang. It is also known here that scientist shown at the beginning of the movie, he is not anyone else but Lang's father, who was died because of a cause, and Lang's mother had also died due to some disease. Consequently, Lang was all alone from his childhood. It is also revealed that Lang was the last hope of company for their experiment, because that creature in the body of Lang had fully attached with his body. So, Force's leader asks his member to capture Lang as soon as possible. Contrarily, Lang was at home of his friend when he wakes up. She asks Lang, "Why did you take that challenge in spite of my forbidding?" He is telling this to her. Then he notice a bandage on the face of his friend, which belonged to a company civilian for this company. In fact, Lang, father, and that lady used to serve. That female soldier who had tried to fire her gun at Lang at that night. After this, Lang, June's friend shows him the photo of her brother, who had disappeared in a very mysterious way. Lang tells her that he has witnessed her brother in the same company. At the same place, the member of that company arrives there to capture Lang. Now Lang hides under their car to keep himself hidden, and he leaves his cell phone in their car to track them down. Later, Lang friends asks him why did they come here. Lang tells her that they had come here to capture me because I have a creature on which they are researching. Lang goes to his uncle named Yang to get more information about this. When Lang goes to his uncle's laboratory to meet him, then he notices that it is set on fire. He protects him from the fire and asks his uncle Yang about that company, but he has no knowledge about this. After this, when Lang is returning back, then it is seen that someone was chasing him again. At this time, he captures him and he takes that boy to her friend. That boy tells him he did not want to chase him, but he just want to know about that company. So he was chasing him, and he was also a hacker with this, who had caught dangerous criminals within a moment. So he takes that boy in his team because that boy delivers the whole information about that company to Lang. He tells him it is such a company famous for its oil trading, but there is also dark aspect of this company, as they trade the illegal chemical weapon from other countries, and it is the same company where Lang father and uncle used to serve. Meanwhile, he also tells Lang friends that he had contact with him before her brother's disappearance. He also tells it all missing people are given a chance to play game before missing. Lang's friend also agrees with this because her brother had also got the same offer. Next day, Lang was moving somewhere with his friend. At the same time, he receives the call of the same boy who had delivered all data about that company to him. Then Commander and his military approach there. Before this, he tells more details. Lang gets ready to go with them in order to rescue his friend. Lang moves away sitting with them in their car, but his friend follows that car in the meantime, and she stops that car. As being a great boxer, she faces the member of that force there, and she feels soon after rescuing Lang from them. Then both go to the Uncle Yang and ask him about all the matter from him. Now his uncle Yang reveals the truth and tells he and his father used to serve in that company, where he wanted to manufacture such a medication through which they could cure any disease. When all knew about the death of Lang's father, then they all objected, so they also stopped working on their project with this. Now Lang asks the cause of his father's death after hearing Yang's facts. He tells on this when his mother died because of one disease. So his father had lost his courage, so he had forbidden to work more with that company. But those company's runners did not like the decision of your father. So they kill your father after locking him into a room and sitting firing in this. Knowing this, Lang becomes so aggressive, but Uncle Yang forbids him, saying don't take any step against that company because it was the most powerful company. Meanwhile, the owner of that company reached there with his men and he kills Yang before Lang. Lang was enraged, witnessing his uncle dying before him. So he is also transformed into a werewolf one more time and he begins to fight with all. Lang had got the green laser shot while fighting, so he had also come to his normal state. Before this, they are able to catch him. Lang friends pushes him down from the window, so those people may not catch him. That boy also approaches with this, and he forbids Lang to take any steps because they were not ready properly till now. He explains to him they cannot harm your friend until they catch you. Hearing this, Lang trusts him and accompanies. Now Lang leaves his place and begins to miss his old memories sitting on the beach. He also cast a glance at his locket in which his and his father's photo was stuck, and he had also worn the gloves. With this, when he shows all that boy, then he understands as the place where his father loses his breath. There was a place, now they move to that place. There are discovered some marks of werewolves when Lang reaches there. there. He discovers a box there and opens this with the help of his locket. His friends a tape in that box recorded for him by his father. He explains to Lang about an experiment that he had manufactured a drug to rescue his mother. First of all, he applied that experiment on himself and his mother died before this. Then he stopped that experiment, but the company started to use that drug as a weapon. Due to this, many people lost their lives. So they all decide that they will attempt to stop all illegal pursuits of that company. On the other side, it is seen that the head of that company was in the laboratory of Yang and he was erasing all proofs from there. Then they find an object there. That company head is killed as he was glimpsing that object. On the other side, Lang had reached the laboratory of experiment, but they all and the security guards of that place with the help of their weapon. Then Lang's friend is also shown there. She also claims her brother in the adjoining room when she observes. Seeing her brother, she assures him that Lang will surely come to free them from here. Many people enter there when Lang comes into that laboratory, but he ends all because of the superpower of that werewolf in him. After this, they had to collect to prove against this company. So they all move into the different directions. Lang reaches that place to rescue his friend. When he was finding the key to rescue his friend, then Uncle Yang appears there who tells him they have made that medicine with his blood. The medicine which was wished to manufacture by Lang's father. Before this, Lang uttered a single word, then he video cassette of his uncle and father is played, in which Yang wanted to make those chemical weapon along with company's member, but Lang's father was stopping him to do as such. So he left Lang's father in that room which was set on fire. Watching that video, Lang had understood that the manipulator of that company is not anyone else but Uncle Yang, who had taken the life of his father. Meanwhile, that company's head assistant also comes, who begins to tell that manipulator of that company is not anyone else but Yang. She was telling truth to Lang because Yang had also killed company's head. So that assistant begins to fire at Yang, but he was not becoming worried on this because the medicine made by blood of June. It had been injected into his body before by him. He becomes to transform into werewolf and Lang is also turns into werewolf. Later, a great fight is held between them there. During the fight, both come outside. Contrarily, Lang, June's friend and her brother also come outside. Now Lang's friend ties a rope around the neck of Yang to rescue him, but Yang gets unharmed on this. On the contrary, he warns Lang's friends. Before this, he killed her, then Lang. June pulls the rope upward. Lang gives an electrical cable to his friend. Using this, they end Yang. In the end of the movie, Lang is seen reading book at his home. It is known by news that all missing persons are found now, but they all have a mysterious mark on their body. But Lang had brought into the light the truth of that company before everyone, and the film completes on this scene. Viewers, if you like this explanation, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel so that our video can reach you first and obviously we can be encouraged. And one more thing, it is not necessary but you should like the video while watching. Stay with us, stay connected and thanks for watching.